boys and girls. This is math for Friday, April 17th. Our goal today is to understand bar graphs and to understand how we can take the information from a tally chart, put that into the bar graph. And yes, this is review. We have done this before. So you're going to be using some pages in the packet. This is one. Right now it's totally blank. And so what we need to decide is, what do you want to ask people? What do you want to find out? Do you want to ask people what their favorite pet is? Do you want to go around and ask people their favorite movie or their favorite color? Things like that. Well, you know I love pizza. So my bar graph I've decided is I'm going to go ask everybody what is their favorite pizza topping. So first thing I need to do is I need a tally chart. This packet didn't give you one, so I'm just going to use the back of a piece of paper, some scrap paper. And when we do this, because of the way our graph is set up, we have to give 3 choices. So I'm gonna go around and ask about favorite pizza topping. And I'm going to ask if their favorite pizza topping is pepperoni, just plain cheese, or sausage. So that's all I've done so far on my paper is write down those 3 toppings: pepperoni, cheese, sausage. So let's say that I ask I'm gonna ask myself, I would put pepperoni. I think that Cooper would probably tell me pepperoni. Now I would actually go ask him if I had the time. I want you to ask people if you can, and maybe give you a chance to call some relatives or friends on the phone and say, hey, I'm doing a bar graph for math, and it'll give you a chance to talk to some people and feel connected since we're all social distancing right now. So if I asked Owen, he would probably say cheese. Let's say I called up my mom and my mom told me she liked sausage. And while I was on the phone with my mom, I asked my sister and she said cheese. And I asked my dad and he said pepperoni. And then let's say I called up my uncle because he's been sending me all kinds of recipes. So he'd probably love to talk to me about food. And my uncle says, yep, pepperoni's my favorite. And then we get my aunt on the phone and she says, oh, cheese is mine. Just plain cheese all the way. And then my cousin happens to answer and he tells me pepperoni. And I'm going to look at that and say, oh, pepperoni. There's 4 tally marks. What do I need to remember about that? The 5th one falls down. So let's say that that's all the people that I had time to ask. And then these are the results I got on my tally chart. Okay? So I'm going to hang on to my tally chart. And then I'm going to get out that bar graph paper that's in your packet. And I'm going to begin to add labels to this bar graph, so that if somebody came in, they would know exactly what I did. So at the top of the bar graph, remember that's where we're going to put our title. I hope you said title. So I'm going to write, my title is going to be favorite pizza toppings. So I've written that down at the top. Okay, now look at our graph. Along the side is a big blank line. Now this one is probably the hardest one that we've had to label. This one is basically a label for who you asked. So we asked people, right? So I'm going to turn my paper sideways so that I can write on that line better. And I'm just going to write number of people. So the number of people that I asked about these favorite toppings. And then when we look at our bar graph, at the bottom, we have a place for the labels. And that's where I'm going to put the names of the toppings that I asked everyone. So I asked pepperoni. I asked if their favorite topping was cheese or if their favorite topping was sausage. So I've now added those labels at the bottom. Okay, so now at this point, I need to go back and look at my tally chart. And you could use crayons or markers, colored pencils, or just regular pencil, whatever you'd like to do to fill in your tally chart. And I'm going to flip back and remember that there were 5 people that liked pepperoni. So on my graph, that means that in this pepperoni column, I've got to color all the way up to 5 because that's how many people like that. So I like to do this when I'm making a bar graph, is to start by drawing a line. So when I go to color it in, I remember where I need to stop. And then if I go back to my tally chart, how many people liked cheese? So then we go to cheese. We're going to color that up to 3. I can count 1, 2, 3 rectangles. Again, I'm going to draw that line across so when I color it in better, I remember where to stop. And then sausage, I just had 1. So I'm just going to color in that last one. Okay, so I'm not going to have you guys sit there and watch while I color it, but I would finish coloring in my graph. And then you would easily be able to look at my graph and you would be able to tell very quickly which was the favorite pizza topping. Well, I hope you said pepperoni because it's the tallest. See how quick it is to find out information when you use a bar graph? And if I ask the question, which was the least favorite? Hopefully quickly you can answer sausage. It's the one that's colored the shortest. It's the smallest. Then you could ask other questions like, how many more liked cheese than sausage? That was always a tricky question in our class when I asked how many more, because I know everyone's first idea is that they're going to add things together. But think about that question. I'm telling you that this one's more. So to find out how many more, that would be a subtraction fact. 3 minus 1 is 2. Another way to find that answer would be to look. Here's where sausage stops. How many more until I get to cheese? Well, I count 1, 2. Or another question I could ask is how many people did I ask all together? What kind of a math question is that? How would you solve that? I hope you said add, because you heard me say all together. So then you have to add up what? 5 plus 3 plus 1 to find out how many people I asked all together. So that's the importance of a graph, is being able to look at it, being able to find answers, being able to analyze the information, asking questions. So hopefully there's someone at home that can kind of make up some of those questions for you. And then once you've had fun creating your own bar graph, this next page in the packet is going to kind of give you a chance to test your skills, and it's got questions already done for you. Can you take the information on the page? Can you create the title? Can you label the rest of it and fill in the graph? So you're going to go ahead and try and do that. If you want to take a picture and share that with me, I'd love to see it, see how you finished it. I'd love to see what you asked people when you created your own graph too. But that's our goal today, is to be able to take information from a tally chart and to label and fill in that information in a graph and then be able to read it and answer questions about it. So work through that lesson. And then once you're done with that, of course, we've got some math boxes for some extra practice today. So you'll just want to read through those. This one I like because it even has a tally chart on it, which is what we practiced today. So work through your math boxes page. And then if you have any questions, send me an email. Let me know. Thank you.